Hey guys, Carmen. Just want to talk to you about sleep patterns. Somebody posted on Facebook this morning an article where they was talking about sleep deficits because being mimicked as like ADHD. It's not a real shocker. I don't know why people don't really get this. So I wanted to tell it from a squirrel's perspective because I mean, we know I am ADHD. Here's the thing. If you don't sleep, you can't focus. This is not rocket science. I mean, if our kids are not sleeping, they cannot focus at school. Um, I don't know why we struggle with this all the time. You've got to get them into good sleep patterns and find out, why they're not sleeping because they can be different things. I want to tell you what my issues were, and maybe it might can help because it's pretty common that we all have the same issues. First of all, my mind never shuts down. I mean, we all have that issue. We go to bed and we start thinking about stuff and all. My mind just never would stop. So, I finally got that taken care of. And the second thing was I was dreaming all night. I wasn't getting in that right level of sleep because you got your REM sleep, and we studied all that in school about your levels of sleep, and there's certain ones you dream in. Well, I wasn't getting in that level of sleep where if I did dream, I might not could remember it because I could get up in the morning and I could remember every single detail of my dream just like I had been through whatever it was. And you got to think sometimes if you having a nightmare, that is pretty bad. So when the little ones wake up really scared, they really are, because I would have some certain times they would be so vivid. I mean, you really think those people was trying to kill you or whatever it was, and it was like terrifying. You just wake up like a night terror. So it does get pretty bad when you have dreams that are that vivid, and because we're not in that level, so we kind of control our dreams to a degree. Like a lot of times when I'm sitting there and I can make them do what I want. Caden says that he makes movies in his head, or he used to, he doesn't do it now, but he would make them do what he wants, like he was a movie producer, and he just kind of make his dreams do what he wants. So he'd always wake up tired. Another thing I've noticed is when I ask people, are their children sleeping, they're like, oh yeah, they sleep all the time. That's not good either. So just because they sleep all the time or go to bed early doesn't mean they're truly getting good sleep. There's a difference in sleeping and getting a good sleep. I slept all the time, but I wasn't getting good sleep. Caden goes to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock and sleeps till 6, 7 in the morning, but he wasn't getting a good sleep. So there's a difference. If they're going to bed but they're dreaming all night, they're not getting that restful sleep they need. If they go to bed and like they have maybe a restless leg and it's, doing its little thing, or it can be something as simple as maybe at night your hot water heater does something different and they hear it and they're staying awake. Another thing people don't pay attention to is lights. If there's a light shining, because you need darkness for your body to produce the melatonin that it needs. And if there's lights on, you don't produce enough of that, and they're not going to get to sleep. And another thing too is kids that are ADHD and stuff like that. We're very sensitive to certain things. So if there is any light at all in a room, I am not going to sleep. So I sleep with a sleep mask on. I also have an AC running in the room so that there's that constant noise, so it would drown out like if the dogs are barking. If you got a dog that barks all the time, we live in the country, so we have live oaks, acorns drop, deer come up, dogs bark all night when it gets cold weather because they're barking at the deer. Well, they could be hearing that all night, waking them up. There's just so many factors that you have to pay attention to. So you have to be as aware of your environment as just what's going on, just thinking they don't sleep. not to get into bashing medicine, but I'm going to have to bring it up because it's an issue. Because, I mean, y'all, I probably think I've told it many times, I used to take Adderall for my ADHD. I don't anymore, and y'all know why, but I'm not going to get into all that. But if you take Adderall or stuff like that, meds for that, it can interfere with your sleep also. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle. We put kids on these meds to help with the ADHD, but then they can't sleep, which then makes the ADHD worse. So it's like this vicious cycle. So you got to be aware of that. And the thing about the meds that I didn't like was you put them on it, and then it lasts till about 2 o'clock or so. Even with extended release, it doesn't go really late into the afternoons, and that's when they're doing their homework. So then a lot of times people end up having to give them like a little 5 ml of something like instant release, so it instead of the extended release. But it's still in their body, and so when they get ready to go to bed, it's still in their system, even a short release. So by the time these kids are on school buses, by the time they get home, it's already around 4 o'clock or so. And then if you got to give them an instant release to help them study that afternoon, there's no way it's going to be out of their system by bedtime. You got to look at things like allergy meds. Especially here in the South, we got terrible allergies. If you got them on certain ones, it's got the decongestants and stuff in it. And a lot of those are 24-hour release. They're going to keep them up. I had to do at one time, a long time ago, was on, it was actually Allegra D. I'd stare at the ceiling all night. So I see these vicious cycles of people with like allergies, and then they take something that keeps them up, and then they're taking something at night to help them sleep, but then they're hungover the next morning. So then they think they're ADHD, so they're taking Adderall or something to help perk them up the day. Then they can't sleep, and then they got the allergy, and it's just da 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 da, and it's like just want to scream. So you've got to take into account all those meds. It could be something simple as allergy med keeping them up. If they're drinking a lot of caffeine, if they drink it late in the night. I didn't know till recently that decaf tea actually had some caffeine in it, and I was drinking it, and it was interfering with my sleep because I didn't realize that even decaf tea has some caffeine in it. If they're drinking even something like Sprite, it may be caffeine free, but still loaded with sugar. Orange juice, really still good for you, loaded with sugar. Even milk has sugar in it. So if you doing all these things before you go to bed, you're not going to sleep. They're eating a bowl of cereal before they go to bed. You got sugar in the milk, you got sugar in the cereal. It's going to interfere with sleep. And the thing too, if you've got ones around the teens and older, if they got their cell phone in there, you can bet they're going to get on it sometime tonight. They're going to sneak in there on it. Or somebody's going to text them or something that's going to ding and it's going to wake them up. Then the issue is if they anticipate that somebody may text them or something, it still interferes with your sleep. If you know something's going on or you're subconsciously waiting for it, and it will interfere with your sleep. It's things that you've got to eliminate. Get the phone out of the room. Make sure the room's dark. Make sure they're not eating all this stuff before they go to bed. Go to bed at the same time. Get up at the same time. It is not rocket science. We let our kids get all willy-nilly and then wonder what's going on. Caden has to go to bed at the same time on the weekends because if he stayed up all night, Friday night and Saturday night, when it comes Sunday night, he's not going to be able to sleep, which means Monday morning he's going to do like crap in school. This is not difficult. You just got to pay attention and be aware of it. Another thing too, Scott was like, man, all you ever want to do is lay down and sleep. You got to understand, being us is exhausting. It's like a 3-ring circus going on in his head all the time. And a lot of times I would just go lay down and try to go to sleep just to make the circus stop. So you'll hear a lot of times there's a higher level of addictions with people with ADHD, like alcohol and drugs and stuff like that. It's because they use it to slow the brain down. I remember a long time ago I had to watch it because I'd go have me some margaritas and stuff, and I would do it to slow my brain down. Uh, I mean, I know several people that drink too much and all, and they'll tell you flat out it's just to slow the brain down. So that's just a known statistic right there that people with ADHD have higher chances of things like addiction. So you just need to, even if they're sleeping a lot, kind of feel them out on why they're sleeping too much, because it may be that they're just so exhausted because it just doesn't stop, and it's so exhausting that you just want to sleep because it'll slow it down. And half the time when trying to lay there and actually fall asleep, you still can't because you're sitting there still thinking. So just start watching and seeing what they got going on with that, because you don't want your kids on medicine if it's nothing more than crappy sleep patterns. I mean, really, you just really don't. Why do that if there's things that easily we can fix? I mean, you just really just look at the sleep. So if you ever need anything, like I said, get in touch with me and we can talk. I mean, I don't know everything, but I can at least let you know what we're thinking, because the young ones, they don't know what to tell you. I mean, I went through all this when I was young, but I didn't ever really know what was going on. I do now, and I see it in my kids, and I know, but they don't know what to tell you. So you need to educate yourself and make sure that you know, so that you can keep an eye out and help them. So, thanks.